I'm okay.
All right, I guess we could get started. My name is Ryan Gardner. We all know each other at this point, but in case you don't remember, I teach at Oklahoma State University. Yep. You're up first. Well, what I thought we would do today is just have as many people play as possible. I don't really have anything like planned that I want to talk about, but I'm happy to like answer any questions. I want this to be a forum where you can ask, like if you suck at something and you don't know how to fix it, let's ask about it so we can maybe come up with some constructive ways to get better. Does that make sense? So how many people would like to play? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's start with that, and we'll just kind of go from there. So who raised their hand first? You want to come up first? Come on, man.
I don't have a device though.
You don't have a device? What does that mean?
Oh, he didn't play Kahoot.
Oh, you want to play Kahoot?
Oh.
We're doing that later. This is just on.
I just got hanging in. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay. All right, come on, man. Give him a round of applause.
I saw Charlie A1, I don't know if that's it.
Sweet.
Okay, so my name's Jack. I'm gonna play Charlie A1. I've been working on this for about 3 weeks, so it's fairly new to me. Yeah.
You don't have to play all of it. Why don't you play?
Okay.
Would you feel comfortable going about here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go out here if
Okay.
that's cool.
Just start whenever.
Whenever you're ready. Positivity. So we're going to start with things that you thought were pretty good.
I thought most of the notes were centered, because it's an articulation exercise. That's
Yeah.
Dynamics, I thought, from my standpoint, were...
Guess your dynamics?
There was kind of a range. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Okay, so now let's go into your favorite part, which will be the negative list.
Yeah. Phrasing in some of the passages and the consistency of your articulation. That's part of me being a little nervous and like,
yep.
I don't have a steady connection between my lips and the trumpet.
Do you guys think you started nervous or not really?
No.
Yeah, I didn't. It didn't.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't translate.
Oh, I'm like shaking on the.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
on the inside.
Yeah, good.
So, slurred passages can be a little smoother when compared with the shorter stuff. Also, the accents I think could be a little more bold.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna try a bunch of things. First of all, I think you have like the makings of a really nice sound in there. I think you're letting your articulation get away from you, and so that's kind of like, it feels, the way you're playing it to me feels very jazzy.
Yeah.
Do you play a lot of jazz?
Jazz is my main thing. Yeah.
So your everything is like very tongue stops, and so if your tongue is stopping the note, what is not happening all the way through the note?
Resonance.
Correct. And
tone.
And starts with an A and ends with
Air. Oh, yeah. I was overthinking. I'm like, what large word are you thinking of? Starts with it.
Okay, so can we just play like, I would just love to hear you slur through the first measure.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, a better sound? And that's not hard for you, right?
Yeah.
Now you are still manipulating your face a little bit, so can you do it again? And this time I want you to really focus on the back side of the note, because that's where you're letting down.
Yeah.
Ba-da-dum. 1, ready, go. Right there. Hear it? Boom.
Like the change between certain notes.
Yeah.
It's not.
Make it cleaner.
I get that.
So we joke about this at school. If you miss it from the top, we call that missing from the pro side. Because at least you're going for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So can you do it again? That was good. 1, ready, go. Good, and then just relax. Just that last note.
Okay.
Does that sound getting better and better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, right? Does it feel good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels better.
So now, whenever I work on articulation, I always start from long and I go shorter. The reason being, if you're tonguing long, is the air gonna stop?
No.
That's right. It's never gonna stop. So can you say do?
Do.
Good. Now really focus on, everybody say it. Do. Good. Now, what I want you to do, everybody say it and then spin the air through the oo. Do. Ready? And. Do. Right. That's how we produce sound. That's air right there. Now, can you go do, 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 go. Do, do, do. Good. Can you do that on an F? 2. Ready? Did you say do, or did you still kind of go back to your old ways?
Like the articulation
Yeah.
side? Yeah.
A little bit. Again? Ready, go. Cool. See this? Ah. So I hear like a foo. Can you say? Have you ever like done a spitball at somebody?
No.
Oh wow, you're nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can you say? Don't try and make a trumpet articulation.
Oh, okay.
Like say the word to. Yeah. Do it again. Nope. Yes. Again. Yes. Again. Good. Play. 2. Ready. Just on that. Okay. Yeah. That sounds pretty good to me. So now can you go dum bum bum 1, ready, long, go. Ready? Yeah. First measure, amazing, right? Sounded so good. And then you changed something. Why'd you do that?
So I was setting for a higher overtone.
And how'd that go?
Not so well.
Why are you resetting? If the air never stops, then guess what? The sound never stops.
Right.
And then you don't have to move your face.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good plan. Let's try again. 2. Ready, go. Air. Good. Go, air. Nice. Keep moving. Keep going. Isn't that incredible? How much air did you just use?
A lot.
Right.
Matter right.
Did you guys hear how like that sound stayed the same? Well, almost the same. We're gonna get to one last part. But how much better was that? Right? So cool. You sound great. Okay, for me, the one time that like I felt the sound escaped you is when you got to the lower range.
Yeah, this is the C's.
Yeah. I don't really know what's gonna come out of my horn right now, so that's a good time. Can you do this for me? Cool. Oops, that's nobody cares. It's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Now you're doing what I actually want you to do. Why are you moving your? Do you hear how? See how he's doing?
I'm going down. Yeah.
Good. For the first time, he was too low.
Uh,
That's cool. Do it again. That one wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I'll use my phone because it's always shocking. This is what, it's gonna happen, don't worry. This is what your air is supposed to do.
Yes.
I told you it's gonna happen. You let gravity take its course. It's already cracked. Don't worry about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Exactly. Can you do it again? Can you do it with your air and not your face? Now, okay. Question: more air, less air as you go lower?
More.
Are you using more?
No. I think part of it's the.
Okay, get rid of the valves.
Okay.
Cool. Take your mouthpiece out for me. You right-handed?
Yeah.
Put in your left hand. Good.
Oh man. My hand shakes when I'm nervous, and so it's hard to do mouthpiece posing, so I have to hold my hand, hold my arm when I do it.
I love that. Hold it like this. There you go. Yeah, that one.
The octave, right?
Okay, grab your horn. All 1, 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Simon Says kind of thing. Okay.
I'm just being an idiot as usual. But nice and slow. Ready, go. Dude. Hey, it still works. Awesome. All right. Who's
Why
next?
did you purposely drop your phone?
Why did I do that? It felt right. Yeah, come on out.
There wasn't a microphone.
Alright, hi, I'm Chris, and I will also be playing Charlie, but I'll be playing solo to Concord.
Cool.
Any specific place you want me to go to? Or?
Yeah. Can you go to here?
Yeah,
You nervous? I can hear the shaky breath.
a little bit, but I'll get over it.
That's what's up. Sounds good, huh? Yeah. All right, so talk us through. We're going to start with the power of positivity.
Well, I feel like at the start I kind of think of like the start as like a very like declamatory kind of bravado thing, so I feel like I
Totally.
laid that out. I had a lesson with Dr. Bill on this yesterday, and we talked a lot about like changing tone colors and like trying to get that out, so I felt like I did a better job of that today. And
Nice.
yeah, overall I felt like I did most of what shaping things I wanted to do, and for the most part the notes came out okay. So on like a superficial level, that's nice.
Makes us all feel better, right? Oh man, I got all the right notes. Cool. All right. Cool. All right. And what about stuff that maybe it could have gone a little bit better?
My tongue was really heavy throughout all of it, especially in like this is also something we talked about yesterday, but the like dugga 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 like
Are you double tonguing that?
yeah, and the K is just getting like it's like getting really like caught, and then like I'm just like over articulating it, and it's just not. It's very like choppy sounding.
Have you thought about single tonguing that? Can you single tongue fast?
I've tried. I can't get it up to like that speed.
Okay.
I can do it like in like slow practice.
Okay.
Yeah. And then yeah, there was some, and I on like I long notes I felt like didn't really do anything, which is another issue I've been running into lately. Yeah, so like it was little things like that I feel like kind of got lost.
So first of all, I mean, you played it super, super well. I mean, you know, whatever I'm gonna say is just to push you a little bit further. If I were listening to this in like a jury format or a competition, you wouldn't have engaged my attention. Even though you pretty much played it perfectly, it wouldn't have been enough musically to really captivate my interest. So, it's kind of what probably Dr. Doble was saying. You've got to come up with different characters to really enhance what you're doing, because it's already so good. You've got to turn up the volume on the music. The other thing that I would say is the sound it's good. It could be better. So let me hear you. Can you do me a favor and just play the opening C? I'm gonna just play the opening C. Can you breath attack that note for me? Which one's better, A or B? B. Can you do it again? Cool. So, when I watch you breathe, it's very high. It's like, I would say it's like this part, it's 30% and up. You're a tall dude, man. Like, you got stuff, more stuff than that. So if you're only using 30% of your air and still getting a pretty decent result, imagine what would happen to your sound quality if you used all of your air. So what I want you to do is breathe through your nose. Let it right out. Do it again. Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you breathe like that?
Not through my nose when I'm playing.
Well, and I don't want you to, but in terms of like the filling up.
I try to. When I'm like nervous, I get that. That's one of the first things that drops.
For all of us. So what we have to do is really practice it so that like it's muscle memory, and no matter what. The first thing we do every morning at OSU is we do breathing exercises.
Yeah.
So, would I love to do this for me? Now, out through your mouth. Awesome. Do that again. Great. Can you do that? Just play the C with that breath.
Breath attack. Or
Yes, still breath it down. Is that better?
Yep.
Did we change anything?
No.
Not really. Isn't that cool? Can you let you spit out? Let you spit out.
Oh.
Do it again. Easy killer. Cool. So already for me, that sound is way more captivating. Now, what I want you to do is, can you find the center spot and just spin the sound all the way through the center? To me, it feels like the sound wants to go this way, and I want it to go this way. Does that make sense? Yeah, you're making it ring in here. Good for you. Okay, so that's where I would start with that, because that to me is that sound. I would really like, yeah, okay, now I'm interested. So can you play the opening with that sound? Do you guys hear the difference?
Yeah.
That's better. Okay, cool. Now, can you sing this for me? exactly how you're playing it. First of all, don't sing on da, please. Everybody, this is just my personal thing. If we were to tongue da, 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 would you be able to tongue very fast?
No.
So let's practice the way we play. Do 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 do. Can you get some character in there?
Yeah.
Do 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 do. Good. Can you put a little bit of like a little accent? Do do and a little lift between do 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 do. And then character change. Da 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 dee da 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 dee da da da. Right? Play. So, were you guys more interested with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you got to, I was like, whoa, dude, why are you yelling at me? Good. Really, really nice. Really, really nice. How did that feel?
Felt like more in line. Like it felt like everything kind of made more. It wasn't as like segmented. It kind of all like lined together really well.
Yeah. And is it more fun?
Yeah.
I mean, I like playing the trumpet because it's fun. Not because I hate music. So let's do it again. This time, don't yell at me when you go to that right there, okay? Nope. Out. Sound. Out there. Air. Sound. Good. Can you use vibrato? He sounds good, right? Is that, yeah, it's like getting better. You gotta get into it, brother.
Yeah.
Can we try again?
Just from the beginning.
No, right where I just started. I'm gonna keep picking on you because you keep going back to that old sound quality, which I'm not 100% into. Mm-mm. You guys like that? He can do better. Yeah, that's boring. Ba ba ba. Can you also use vibrato on that upper note? A little less volume. Okay, let's keep going. Was that fun? Yeah. Let's keep going. What's this? What happens here? What does it say? What's that word?
Dolce.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Sweetly.
Cool. So soft doesn't mean no tone.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Can you sing it for me? Ooh, yeah. 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 No. No. Yeah. No. No. Uh-huh. Yeah. No. Cool. Now like you like it. You said it, dolce means what?
Sweetie.
Yeah, I don't hear any of that goodness in there. Yeah. No. 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 Sing da-dum, sing da-dum. Yeah. Da-dum. Yes, keep going. Yes. Play that. 1, 2. Good. Now I hear you thinking about all those slurs, right? I don't think about that stuff when I play. I'm literally trying to emote all the time. And then hope that the trumpet works for me. Yeah, don't worry about it. Cool, can we go? So, I mean, we're going to talk about your articulation anyway, so now is maybe a good time. You're a dar. Yeah, I can hear it. So, can you do this for me? So actually, let's do, yeah. Foo, two. Cool, you're letting your air go? Mm-hmm. It's like meow meows. Meow 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 meow, that's what I'm getting. Gotta keep the air moving all the way. That. Is that harder or easier?
Easier.
Oh, cool. Can you now do that and move your air like that?
From Dolce.
Yep. No, from Cool, and then relax right there. Cool. Right there. Well, that sounds nice. Can you be more, for me, this figure happens a lot in this piece. There's a lot of dissonance that lead up to the resolving tone. And so I want you to lean. Okay. Good. Now, has he missed the high C? No. So why are you like going, yeah, 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 yeah? Ah. Like you're like yelling at me before the high C happens. I'm like, yo, calm down. You don't get it. You hear it right there? Just that much. I don't want to hear the high C. Can you make that sound better? So, how much attention did you give that spot versus the high C spot?
Not enough when I play that.
We all do this. Like, we all like scan through, oh, that part might be a little challenging, okay? So, you know, like, I would just spend, can you just do this for me? Can you make it? Yeah, here's what I hear. And I want get softer. Okay, and then dum 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 ba-dum. And then you're gonna want to grow because you're gonna need to play the high C. Now all the way through. I mean, I would take that. Cool. Ba-da-da. Cool. So, one thing that I like to do when I'm working on something like this, and it's hard to like get the exact musicality that you want, I try and do it on one note. Did I make some music in there?
Sound like a little bit.
Oh, all right. I thought I did a pretty good job, but all right, that's cool.
I'm actually looking here.
No, all right, do it for me like that. Cool. So you used one device. Get louder now. That was like the one thing. Can you vary it? It's called shading. You know, you want a couple little green here, a little yellow there. It's still. Do you guys hear what I'm talking about? It's still like just getting louder, and then it's just getting softer. Can you have like variations of it getting louder in the middle, and then it getting softer? I'll take that and go. Play it as written. 2, 3, 4. Again. Ready and. Cool. Now, if I can pick this thing to death, and I might. We'll see. The A is undersupported. You need more air there. Yes. Bum, 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 bum. Cool. All right. Your favorite part? Cool. We're gonna try something new. I don't know. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna love it. Put this thing in there. Have you guys ever tried articulating on the mouthpiece?
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun. What I want you to do is perfect. Let's do it again. I'll do it with you too. Ready? Oh crap. Right and so how aware are you where the notes actually go? Like, are you like 100% confident that you know exactly where each note sits on the mouthpiece?
Not on the mouthpiece, no.
Which means if you can't do it on the mouthpiece, that means it's not in.
In my ear.
Uh-huh. So, can you do this for me? On the mouthpiece. Cool. So just, I would keep working on your ear training because it could use some love. Can you go? I'll help you out too. Ready? Okay, but switch. See you, dude.
Just play it as written.
Play it just as written. Is that already better?
Yeah.
And there's so much more we could do, but I'm not gonna be that guy. I mean, I might. We'll see. But yeah, that's already better. Okay, now let's talk about the double tonguing. Because what I'm trying to do, I mean, there's so many ways to work on this thing. We've already talked about articulation, right? And so we talked about legato tonguing to short tonguing. Now I've given you guys another tool. We can do it on the mouthpiece. We can kind of do more work. So what about the multiple tonguing? How are you going to fix that situation?
Isolating the, like doing it slow and isolating that case a little.
I would love to hear that. I'm going to just stop you right there. Is that connected?
No.
Okay, true or false? There is no such thing as short double tonguing.
That's true.
That's true. So what I'm hearing is, so it sounds super short. Can you really connect it? That's fine. Can you go faster now? Do, 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 do. And then as you get lower, this is a thing that a lot of people do. You kind of go. So what is that? What happens to the air?
Just letting it drop.
Yeah. Can you? I hate thinking up and down, and this is so angular anyway. You got to think more horizontal. I mean, you heard the master Marie Speziale talking about this, just in a better way than me. But everything for her is out, and she's so right. Don't think up and down. So can you just do that again? Do, 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 do. It's getting better. Sorry. 2 and ready. Gets away from you. Do you know which one it is?
It's the
Which one?
The E flat?
It has a flat in it, but it's not that one. It starts with A.
A flat?
Yeah. How'd you know? Yeah, it always, and what do we know about A flat?
What's E flat?
So you gotta spin even further. Can you try it again? It's getting better and better, a little faster. Do 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 do, 1, 2, set and go. Nope, you can do better. 2, ready, go. You good. Does that make sense? And then I don't want to roast you too hard, but I'm gonna. What note is that?
E. Oh, yeah. So.
Can I hear that just so I can feel better about myself? And what note is that? That's new. Cool. And again, once you're there, can you change the character? Something like that. Maybe don't get so artistic. Like it was like. Yeah, I think when what you see here is that it's soft, and there's no way that you want to go. Because the chances of that coming out are like 15%, and I would like it to be 95%. Can you play it louder? Cool. I'll stop beating you up. Good job, man. So maybe now would be a good time for some questions. Yes, sir.
Can you clarify what you mean whenever you say spin the air?
Okay, it's a really good question. So this is my sound normally. It's a fine sound, it's a good sound, but when I'm saying spinning the air, I'm really trying to think of my sound vibrating in a coil that's coming out of my bell. Can you hear the difference?
Yeah.
That's when I'm talking about that, that's what I mean. Yeah.
What kind of ideas do you have on, if you get a younger student who has a very, close-up sound, and you're trying to get them to learn how to vibrate and coordinate like
Yeah.
this, what kind of tools do you use for that?
So that's such a great question. For me, the first thing that I always look at when I'm working with a student is the easiest thing. It's posture, because sometimes people will be already like clamping here by just like doing things like this, by doing things like this, by doing things like this. And so that would be the first place I would look. The second thing that I would really suggest is working on breathing away from the trumpet. I think that if the air is uninhibited, the sound is going to be uninhibited. And students also, like, especially when they're young, they like stuff like that because, they're like, I'm kind of playing the trumpet, but not really. And so really just getting them to feel free, and then I would eliminate the tongue at the beginning and just try and get them to do what the simplest form of tone production, which is breathe in, blow out. The easier you can make it for them, the better. And then I would probably have them do it on the mouthpiece, and then I would have them do it on the trumpet. So when they get to the trumpet, it's like so much easier than it was even on the mouthpiece. Does that help? Okay. Yes?
Before your warm up, how much breathing do you do? Because you mentioned how OSU
how much do I do? I mean, I don't really do a ton anymore. But we do, what do we do, like 10 minutes?
Yep.
We do, Vincent Penzarella, one of my former teachers, I'll tell you what they are. So the first thing that we do is we breathe in for 4 counts, out for 4 counts, over and over. Then we do 3 by 3, so in for 3, out for 3. Then in for 2, out for 2. Then in for 1, out for 1. That one's crazy. Then what we do, because that's not how you play the trumpet, right? So then we start doing more simulative stuff for the trumpet. So we breathe in for 1, out for 3, in for 1, out for 4, in for 1, out for 5, in for 1, out for 6. And then when we get more advanced, we do in for a half, like an eighth note, out for 3.5. In for a half, out for 4.5. Then when we get really good, we do 16th note breaths. 1 eanda, 2 eanda, 3 eanda, 4. Right? Because, I mean, a lot of times that's all you have time for. So if you can get really good at doing that away from the trumpet, all of a sudden you're going to be pretty good at getting catch breaths when you're on the trumpet. Does that make sense? And that's pretty much what we do. I wouldn't spend more than that. We stretch every morning too. I mean, believe it or not, like it does, like our bodies get tense. And every day is different. So it's just good to kind of get yourself back. More questions? Yeah.
Vibrato.
Yes.
When you're producing the vibrato, are you doing that just with your lips? Are you using your face, or are you using the
That's
trumpet?
a really wonderful question. I have no idea.
Okay.
No, but I mean, I'm going to tell you that there are. I don't know, but I know physically what you do to produce vibrato. So for me, I think that I have a combination. I think I use a diaphragm vibrato. There are 3 forms of vibrato. There's There's hand vibrato, when you use your hand. You guys have seen that before. Jim Thompson, he's like the hand vibrato guru. It's crazy. So you can basically, you're changing the pitch with moving your hand. There's jaw vibrato. So you're actually physically moving your jaw. Ya, 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 ya. And then there's diaphragm vibrato, which is when you're kind of pulsing it here. I think I do a combination of jaw and diaphragm vibrato. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it looked like your jaw was moving a little bit.
Yes. The reason that I like the combo better than one is because I don't want my jaw to be always, I don't want it to change my setup, which is messed up enough as it is. Does that answer your
Yeah, that
question?
answers it.
More questions? Does anybody else want to? Yeah.
I was wondering if you might talk a little bit about the structure of your studio and how you arrived at setting up fundamentals classes for the students, or a studio section, or trumpet ensemble, or excerpt classes.
Yes.
Often maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I got to OSU, my colleagues in the brass area had already established something that was pretty awesome. I mean, they did morning warm-ups every day, and they had horn quartet and horn octet and trombone octet and trombone ensemble. And so when I got to OSU, it was like, oh, I'm just going to do what they do, which was cool. I mean, it was already set up. And plus, when I got there, the students were really hungry for something like that. So what we do now is we have 3 warm-ups a week. I do one of them, and I always do, like anybody who's new, I do that warm-up. So if you're a new incoming student, we warm up every week together, because this way it's just another opportunity for me to explore what you're doing well, what you're not doing well. I can see it firsthand, make a mental note, and you could either correct it right there, or I know exactly what to work on in lessons. Then I usually divide the group by like levels. So what did I do? I think it was like sophomores and seniors warm up one day, and then like juniors maybe by yourselves. I think that's what it was, something like that. So that's what we do first semester. Second semester, usually everybody's in a trumpet ensemble. So we warm up in their trumpet ensembles. Again, it's just required once a week for each person. I think that there's a lot of benefits to warming up together, but I also think that it can get in the way sometimes because it's harder to hear yourself individually when you're warming up with other people. I used to do it every day, and I found myself getting worse because I was trying to change to fit what they were doing rather than like just doing what I normally do, if that makes sense. So I think that there are really strong benefits. What I love about it is that the students are up at 7:30 warming up. So we are establishing really positive habits from the start. And if they get used to that, then all of a sudden, by the time they go to their first class at 8:30, they've already played an hour of trumpet, and that's great. So that's what we do in terms of warm-up. Trumpet ensemble, we don't usually start working until like October, and it's really not hardcore. It's maybe once a week, and then it gets progressively more as we get closer to competitions. And I see them, I don't know, depends on the year. Probably in the fall, not that much. I think I met with them 4 or 5 times, maybe. Then, let's see, I teach a brass pedagogy class, a trumpet pedagogy class to the students who are master students and performance majors, but it's really open to anybody. All my lessons are open to anybody who can come sit in. And I teach an orchestral literature class where we play excerpts for each other. Studio class, we do lots of fun things. We do at least 2 mock auditions, orchestral mock auditions a semester. We actually have an audition club. We also do at least 2 they perform for each other quite a bit. Usually we do like etudes, and I have them perform like a lyrical and a technical etude back to back, almost like you're playing a second and third movement of a concerto or a first and second movement of a concerto. And we do like solos, obviously, and so, I mean, I think we see each other a lot. I mean, they can't get rid of me, unfortunately, and fortunately, right? Okay. But I would say that I probably see them at least 4 hours to 5 hours a week, each student. Not just by themselves, but I mean we spend a lot of time together. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you applied for the position, what did you audition on? The trumpet, I know, but I mean, what did you audition?
My rep, like what did I play on the recital? Oh my God.
You played a recital for them as far as an audition?
Oh, so like how does that work?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a really great question. Yeah, I mean, Stephen Campbell just did it. He just won a job recently. So it's an interesting process. So basically what happens is that they announce the job, and you send in your CV, which is like an extended resume, essentially. Recordings, probably anywhere between 5 to 8 recordings of your playing. Now it's different. When I did apply for my job, it was just a CD that I sent, but now it's all YouTube videos that people are sending. And then usually there's like 70 to 80 people that are trying to get a position, if not more at this point. So then, the committee will meet and they'll try and break it down to about a short list, and that's usually about 8 people. So then the next thing that happens is that there's a Skype interview or a phone interview, and they ask you about five questions, usually about recruiting and why you're interested in the position, blah, blah, blah. Then after that, they invite between 2 to 4 people to campus. And on your campus interview, you will usually have breakfast and meet the faculty. You're going to meet with the head of the department. You're going to meet with the dean. You're going to meet with the students. You're going to give a master class. You're going to perform a 30-minute recital. And just you're trying to figure out, and the committee's trying to figure out if you're the right fit for them. And so it's a really long day. I mean, it starts usually at 8 and it ends 5, 6 p.m.
Do you play in the quintet?
It depends on the job. I would imagine you probably played with the quintet.
Sure did.
Yeah, and did you too? Yeah. So if there's a faculty quintet, then yes, that is definitely part of it. If there's not, then probably just the recital.
Did they ask you to teach any music theory or history classes?
If that is part of, in the job requirement, possibly. When I applied my job at OSU, it was teach trumpet and conduct a jazz band. So they only asked me jazz questions. I didn't actually have to direct the band. It just depends. Yeah.
How do you approach teaching intonation for your students?
So, to me, intonation. If you're in tone, you're in tune. As you can see, I'm a huge sound nut. Like, if it doesn't sound the way that I think it needs to sound, I'm just going to keep working with you on that. And once you can understand what that center sounds like, it gets pretty easy to figure out how to replicate that on other notes. But I usually start with one note at a time. We don't use tuners, maybe ever. Maybe. I mean, very, very, very rarely will I take it out and be like, you sound really sharp today. Okay, you're sharp. So we do a lot of drone work, like a lot. Scales, Clarks. We talk about in a solo, if somebody's working on, I don't know, Hinnemith, you can drone a C, you can drone an F, you can drone a G. I mean, there's so many things that you could do, and then you can really figure out, like, okay, what do I need to do in order to navigate this? Again, for me, I try and make it as simple as possible. Usually, I try and take out every variable so that it's just sound, and the sound is creating this resonance, which is then creating great tuning. So, I don't know. Does that answer that? Okay. I've kind of rambled. Yeah.
I guess, have you ever dealt with like audition day nerves, and if so, how do you?
Oh yeah, I was nervous last night. And I mean, I think we all get nervous. I don't think that ever goes away. What I will tell you is that as I get older, I've just decided that I'm gonna have fun. And maybe it's because I have a job and like I can like let go of some of the stuff that I had when I was a student. But we do this because we want to share our art with other people. And when you start to recognize that nerves aren't necessarily a bad thing, they're actually a good thing. When I get nervous, I kind of get excited because that means that, like, one, I'm passionate about what I'm about to do. And I use that to give me energy. And I decide that nerves aren't going to be a negative. They're not going to detract. It's going to give me more adrenaline, and I'm going to use that in a positive direction. The other thing is I know what my physical symptoms are, and so when I get nervous, like sometimes, do people shake? Yeah, does the breathing go weird? So it's like, you know what that is, and so what I do when I have like a really big performance, I run around my house. I know this sounds crazy, but I literally run around my house, and then I'll play. Because I know my breathing goes. And so if you've ever done that, like done stairs and then tried to play, it's really challenging. So if you were to be able to do that and be successful, imagine getting up on stage and of course you're nervous, but you're not like hyperventilating. So all of a sudden, like, you're like, oh man, this is easy in comparison to what I've already trained. So I overtrain. Does that make sense? Yeah.
All right, so
Break it down.
I'll break it down for you real quick.
Real laid out.
So how do you deal with a person of an orchestral section who might be giving you bad vibes? Like, this is a problem I had all year. This individual was just not being really that good.
Yeah.
So and I didn't really know how to do it, so I kind of lost my cool a few times. And how do you deal with that as a professional?
Man, you know, I'll tell you, like, my solution to everything is to kill him with kindness. Seriously, like, when I leave, I want people to say, man, that guy is so nice. Except my students who are laughing over there. I get to roast them, but that's like I get paid to do that. So, but no, I'm serious. Professionally, the solution is always kill them with kindness, because eventually that's not going to work out for them. And I will tell you, I've had lots of difficult personalities that I've dealt with. And what you do is you just let them talk, and you say, okay, I'll do that. And then you just do it. Or you don't do it. But, I mean, it's like you've got to figure out a way to communicate that is healthy. And the other thing you could do is just talk to them. And if they're receptive, great. And if not, you understand that that is just not going to change. So that means that the way you approach the situation has to change. Does that make sense? Yeah. There was something else I was going to tell you. It's gone. Sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
What's that?
Bullets are cheap.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and plus, like, what you're doing right now in all of you guys is the people that you are going to school with are going to be either your best allies or your worst enemies. So, I mean, treat everybody with absolute kindness. Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I knew it would come back around. Oh, no, it's going to go quickly. What I usually do in a situation where somebody's being difficult is I will always take responsibility. You know, it's probably me. I might be out of tune on that note, but can we maybe check that E? This way, you've already disarmed them. They're like, oh, he said it's him, so cool. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you get the result still that you want.
Yeah.
But I always take full accountability of everything, and just, you know, I'm probably just not playing really well today, or man, I'm just not feeling really secure on this. Can we do it one time? And then all of a sudden they're like, okay. Yes.
As far as the getting nervous during a performance.
Yes.
What do you do about just like when I performing solo or just an exposed part in an ensemble? The legs get shaky, arms get shaky, and it's just really difficult. It's like that's probably my biggest struggle right now. Is performing.
That's a good one. Have you thought about like putting more pressure on one leg?
Yeah.
Has that worked? Like shifting your body?
Yeah, and then the arms get worse.
And then the arms get worse.
It's weird. Yeah.
What I would maybe suggest is I would practice like trying to physically shake.
Like just in my practice?
Yeah. I mean, practice that. And then when you get there, you're like, man, I already know how to do this. There's a great Penzarella story where he had to, like, he was playing backstage at the Met, and he had to come in off stage without playing the entire opera, high B, like pianissimo. And so, you know, that's pretty nerve-wracking. And so when he went to the first rehearsal, he started shaking. And he was like, oh man, this sucks. I'm shaking. So he did fine, but then he started doing a lot of visualization at home when he was practicing. He was like, I'm going to practice exactly what that looked like in my mind, and I'm going to really just try and recreate that scene. And guess what happened when he did that, when he was really visualizing and really using his imagination? What happened when he was practicing?
Can we get used to that feeling?
Yeah, he started shaking. Because he was really putting himself back in that environment mentally. And so he did this all week. You know, he'd get there, practice, right? And then when it came time for the gig, guess what happened? Shaken. But you know what his thought process was? Man, this is awesome. I've been practicing like this all week. Does that make sense? So if you can really visualize that and then overdo it. I mean, a lot of times when people are bad at things, I will like make them go all the way into the dark spot so that they know, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have this weird thing where if I'm performing in front of like a large group, I feel like less nervous. But when I perform in front of two people, I just like start shaking and I just kind of, you know, lose, like, I don't want to say lose my cool, but I feel like I'm out of the like game.
And do you think it's just because it's a few people, or is it like usually people that you know, or people's opinions that you care? Is this like an audition, or?
Probably people's opinions that I care about, like for an audition or like trying to prepare for like performing live or something.
Do you feel like when you do that, you're more concerned about what they're thinking than you are invested in what you're saying? Because I mean, I know for a fact when I do that, I'm always in that mindset.
Yeah, like at the moment, like before I perform, I try to say I want to emulate what I feel about this piece, and then when I get out there, I just end up thinking and worrying about what they're thinking.
So what I do is I write notes to myself, and I'm like, a lot of times they're super simple, like sing, beauty, ease, and it like, especially in like spots where I know like, you know, I can get a little uppity, right. And then it feels like my focus is like whoosh, back on what it needs to be, and the other thing is like, I try not to even worry about, they're gonna think whatever they're gonna think. You can't change that. I mean, you can't. And a lot of times, like, what I always think is that people are rooting for you and not against you. And I know a lot of times when you're playing for just a couple of people and you're watching them and they're writing stuff down, it feels like you're being you're just being judged. And then you start judging yourself, and then the playing gets worse. And so what I would do is just really try and just trust that you are making a good impression because you put in the work. You've done your job. Now you get to enjoy all this work that you did. I think of every audition as a performance showcase.
Okay.
I can't wait to share what I have worked so hard with all of you. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's, you know, it's your show. Rather than like, does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
How do you get into like arranging for like trumpet ensemble?
I have literally zero experience before this arranging for trumpet ensemble. I literally didn't even know how to like use a computer program. So I would say 3 or 4 years ago, I asked one of my colleagues, I was like, how do you write music? Like, what do you use? Because I mean, I'm Finale, but there's also something called Sibelius. So I bought Sibelius, and he showed me how to do it, how to like use it. It's really not very complicated. Trial and error. Yeah, they're laughing. I'll tell you basically what happened is we had things arranged for us, and so I learned what worked and what didn't work, and then I just have been able to hopefully navigate some of that now through my own writing. Don't double the third. What else? Yeah.
What would you consider your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
Oh my God.
That's brutal.
My biggest failure. It's like, where do we start? Like in life, or on the trumpet?
Like professional career.
Man, I remember I took one audition, and it was so terrible. like I thought I was prepared, but I was not prepared. Like it was so bad that I started laughing in the middle of it. Like I was like, wow, this is just awful. And so I got through 3 excerpts, and I got my thank you next. And that's probably the worst I've ever played. And that was I think that was my second audition ever. And I learned a lot from that. Because, I was staying at my friend's house, who I hadn't seen in a long time, and, we went drinking the night before, which is probably not a good idea. And I learned basically, when you are taking an audition, it is serious business. You've got to be in the right frame of mind. You got to be in a space where you can really focus on yourself. And you've just got to be, mentally and physically ready. So, I don't know. I guess that would be it. It's pretty bad. What else? Yeah.
Can you talk a little more about maybe preparing mentally to play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In terms of what? For performance?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see I'm really detailed. One of the best things about me is that I'm super detail oriented, but also one of the worst things about me is that I'm super detail oriented. Ask my students. But what I always am is positive, and so I think what I try to do is I try and put positive reinforcement as I'm preparing for something, because if I'm constantly feeling good about what I'm doing, that's usually going to help it go better. Does that make sense? So I try not to judge while I'm playing. I have to practice that mentally, because we all do it. That little voice clicks on and be like, you suck. Oh, you're going to miss that. Oh, you did. So I try and really not, I record myself as I'm preparing for stuff, so I don't have to actually have that physical voice going on at all times. And I will tell you, I visualize everything. I think about the situation. I think what I'm going to sound like. I really am constantly trying to sing everything that I do away from the trumpet. Even as I'm, making dinner, I'm singing my material or whatever I'm performing. And it's just a lot of positive mental reinforcement so that I feel pretty positive that it's going to go well when I get there. It's just doing it, which I think is hard. The other thing that I would say is I put myself in as many uncomfortable situations as I can before a performance, so that when I play, you're oh, this is it. Yeah.
How do you start practicing a difficult piece so that you don't overwhelm yourself?
That's a really great question. What I've discovered recently is that most students don't know how to practice well. Even really talented ones. So when I get a piece, every ounce of me wants to just read it. The problem is, if you do that, you've already put bad habits into the piece. So I start slowly. I would probably learn 3 lines at a time, and then add another, I'd probably learn 3 lines at a slow tempo, and then slowly speed that up. Then the next day, I'd probably learn another 3 lines at the slow tempo, and then I'd do the first 3 lines a little bit faster. So we're always, everything's kind of at different speeds, and then, once you start feeling really good, you can start putting all 6 lines together, and then you go to 9 lines, and then 12. So it's just a slow process, but always with really clear ideas and making sure that you're learning it the exact way that you want to the first time, so you don't have to go back and relearn. Good question, yeah.
Okay, so like you said, it was kind of like a slow process in learning?
Yeah.
So
Good question. Same thing, just faster. I mean, that means you just don't have as much time to get it done. But I mean, I would never just say play it through. I mean, you would want to really, you'd have to get super organized and be like, I have to have this entire page learned by tomorrow. And then I'm gonna have to have this page learned by tomorrow. I mean, by the next day. So it's just, you know, getting organized, having a game plan, and maybe like looking for the spots that you think might be the most challenging. Start there, and then work out. Does that make, yeah?
Do you believe in working pieces back to front?
Yeah?
What? And
I
how
mean-
would you apply that to like 3, 6, and 6 and 9? Would you like?
So, I mean, like, we can combine all of these ideas. So basically, if I needed to learn something by tomorrow, and the hardest part was at the end, I'd start there. If it wasn't, I'd start wherever that is, and I would work out. Yeah, but I think the whole purpose of working from the end is like, by the time you get to the end, you're going to be the most tired, correct?
Yeah.
So if you're practicing that ending and you're like super fresh, your chops will remember that. The muscle memory will remember, oh man, I know what this feels like. Even though you're tired, it's only going to have practiced it with fresh chops, so those will kick in. So that's the whole purpose of doing that. Is it? Yeah.
How much on like a daily basis do you spend listening to like your favorite trumpet players or just music in general?
That's a really great question. I listen to a lot of trumpet a day, like a lot, because I have I'm with my students quite a bit. So for me personally, with where I'm at in my life, I maybe listen to an hour at the most a day. But I try and listen to other things. Like I like other kinds of music too. And I find that listening and listening actively are two different things. And so if I'm going to listen to something like a trumpet piece, I want to listen actively and attentively. I don't want to just put it on and like have it in the background, because then I'm actually not doing anything for myself except just, you know, listening, kind of like not really into it. Does that make sense? So I would say I listen to more different kinds of music outside of school than I do classical music. But when I was your age, I was in that library listening to everything. I listened to so many vocal arias. Like, I was obsessed with opera. So I listened to a lot of that. I listened to a lot, I like cello. Man, cello. You know, it's good. So I listen to so many other things too, just besides trumpet, that I think it's helped enhance some of the things that I do musically. Yes?
So, in the orchestral excerpt class, you said that you have your students find 3 recordings of each excerpt that they're working on, and then do an analysis of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Could you continue that? Like, once they've finally, once they feel like, oh, we feel comfortable with all 3 of these different, see the difference in each style, then what do you have them do?
Well, I have them pick a style that feels best on them. You know, like what I love about like music is that no player is the same. And I love individuality. Like, I want to hear what every person has to say.
Mm-hmm.
So we figure out what sounds the best on them, and we have them play it that way.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes?
Who are your top few favorite trumpet players to listen to try to imitate?
Oh my goodness. There's so many. I mean, I think this morning I said Håkon. He's just awesome. Maurice Andre was a huge idol of mine. Huge. Phil Smith, I mean, that sound is just ridiculous. Can't go without saying Bud Herseth. I got to study with him a little bit. That was cool. He was really nice to me. I was kind of scared. it depends, like what I'm listening to. I think Ray Mace is just like, yes, please. Tom Stevens. Anybody else? You have any questions for me, Colin? No? Okay. Should we wrap it up? Okay. Thanks, guys. I hope that was good, entertaining.